The quintessential thinks he's a nice guy but is actually a total brat.
And I was like, come on, why are you doing this to me, Stephanie?
Charlie. I really need to go to bed, but I don't want to. Also, now I've got supermassive black holes stuck in my head.
How did we get here? That's probably the question that you're asking right about now, and valid. A couple of weeks ago, I was just in a bit of a rut, and all I wanted to do was just curl up in bed with a really angsty, melodramatic movie. Guess what they had just put on Netflix right about that time? Yeah. So of course, the next logical step was to read the books. Logical? We'll see. And here's what happened. I know that Bella is like the worst protagonist ever and people don't generally like her in the book community, but one thing that I really like about her character actually is the thing where like when she gets too angry or upset or whatever, she just like involuntarily starts to cry, because I totally do that. It is the most frustrating thing in the world, because it's like, I'm not sad, I'm angry. I want to be angry at you, I want to yell at you, but it's just coming out in these like sobs. Okay, literally, I don't even blame Bella for going after Edward, and you wanna know why? Because all these other guys are such twerps. Oh my gosh. First Mike, then Eric, then this guy Tyler. Oh my goodness. It just drives me crazy when guys just like refuse to see that a girl doesn't like them. Like, I understand that that most people can't read minds, but it's like, okay, if the girl has not demonstrated a single shred of interest in you, maybe she's just not interested. And it drives me crazy when guys like willfully just refuse to see that, because it's like impossible to think that a girl wouldn't be interested in them back. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope it makes sense. I'm getting very heated about this. Do I recognize the problems littered throughout this story? Absolutely. Do I think that Bella is a particularly good role model? No. But I feel like there's something to be said for the way that, I don't know, it's like the way that it's describing just like having a crush on someone. I can definitely remember times when I had a huge crush on a guy, and like as soon as he entered a room, I was like aware of his presence, you know what I mean? And I was always like searching for him in a crowd and stuff like that, and like kind of tuning into what he was saying more so than other people. And I feel like Bella's really beating herself up over stuff like that, and I get like, I get the problems. Trust me, I understand them. But I also am kind of having a lot of fun because, I don't know, it's reminding me of like what it's like to have just like a really giddy, like overwhelming crush on someone. And that's such a fun feeling, and one that doesn't just like happen every day, I feel like. And so I don't know, I think it's sweet. Sorry, I know, like, I'm supposed to hate it and everything, but I don't. And again, I see the problems. And, you know, maybe like when I'm more focused, like in the morning, because it's currently like 2 o'clock in the morning. So maybe later we can talk about those problems if you want, but for now, I'm just saying, I'm not hating it. Not at all. And it's making me a little bit giggly at certain parts. I'm not gonna lie. I'm reading these books totally unironically. So I figured if I was going to do it, I was just gonna commit. I was going to go into it ready to like appreciate it for what it was. And I mean, yeah, I'm having a good time. I really need to go to bed, but I don't want to. Also, now I've got supermassive black holes stuck in my head. Oh, it's so good. That like riff at the beginning. Oh! That is the fastest I have ever read any book in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. That is faster than I read Harry Potter. Like Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows, those both took me about 4 or 5 days each, which is the fastest I got through any of them. So make of that what you will. So I really got obsessed with BTS a few years ago, and I promise this will circle back around. And so I went all in, like watching their interviews and their like behind the scenes footage and everything. And one of their members, Yoongi, is particularly known for having like kind of a hard exterior, but then like being really sweet on the inside. And there's actually a term that Koreans use to describe that, and I'll put it here because I still don't really know how to say it, and I'm afraid I'm gonna say it wrong, but it's basically that idea of like a really caring person, but someone who doesn't seem affectionate on the outside, like is kind of like subtly affectionate. And that is like, that is Charlie. He is so sweet. I love him. He's so funny. Him and Bella's relationship cracks me up. But anyway, so I loved the book much more than the movie, and I liked the movie okay. Like, for all of its flaws and all of its cringiness and everything, I really enjoyed myself. The one thing I loved was how in the beginning they were really like sassy and snarky with each other, and I feel like the movie is just like so tense and so like brooding all the time, which is like what it's meant to be. But the books were a lot like, there's a lot more banter, I guess, between them, which really made me stan them more. And then like as their relationship developed, you got to see more of the sweeter sides to both of them. And yeah, I recognize the problems, like really I do. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I can't really add to. Like obviously I'm super late to the conversation, but one thing I will say is Bella's inferiority complex and like how much she felt like she'd never measure up to Edward, and that made me really sad, because I don't think you should ever be in a relationship that's so like imbalanced like that. Like to a certain degree, yeah, I think it's kind of endearing, but this was very unhealthy. And I understand that he's supposed to be like this perfect Adonis, you know, ageless beauty type person, and I understand why that would be intimidating, but it was, yeah, it was definitely hard to read certain parts where she was just talking about how like unexceptional she was and how ordinary and like not worth all of the attention or the trouble. Like that definitely hurt my heart. I will say though, I don't understand why people hate on Bella so much. Like, she's not the ideal protagonist, I get that, but she's not like, I've definitely read more problematic characters before, so I'm trying to figure out like where the big issues lie, I guess. Okay, so you know how I said I didn't understand why people got so upset about Bella? I take it back. I seriously don't know how much more of this I can take. I'm counting down the pages until Edward comes back because I know he does, and I seriously can't even with this girl anymore. Like, okay, I understand, I've been through high school breakups, like truly heartbreaking, and I'm like, I don't mean that ironically or sarcastically, like that can truly be a very painful experience. So it's like, I don't want to belittle that. However, there's a line where it's like, okay, this is a healthy amount of heartbreak over here, and then way over here, this is where Bella is right now, okay? Like, I just can't. The only saving grace of this book so far is Jacob, and I never thought I would say that because I hated movie Jacob, okay? I thought he was like the quintessential thinks he's a nice guy but is actually a total brat. Like, that was my opinion of Jacob. So the way that she describes him in the book is like her own personal son, and the type of person that like has a gravitational force and just like pulls everyone in the room towards them. And I've had the privilege of meeting people like that before, and it was like truly like that, like, and that's how I would think of it in my head, was like they just have this sort of gravity to them that like people are just inexplicably drawn to, and I love that. I need that in my life. I still want Edward to come back, okay? I'm still not saying I'm Team Jacob, but book Jacob, movie Jacob. That's all I'm gonna say. Also, side note, do you like my eyeliner or does it look ridiculous? I was trying to do this kind of like editorial looking thing. I've recently discovered that I think I have hooded eyes, maybe. I may still not fully understand it, but I think that's what this is because you can't really like see my eyelid when I open my eyes. And I always just thought that was like a me thing. And then I realized that it might actually be like a thing. I don't know what I'm saying, but I need your opinion on this situation because I think it looks kind of cool, but if you think it looks ridiculous, please tell me. Charlie, oh my gosh. I'm almost to page 400 and he's telling Alice all about like what Bella went through and how she was during the time they were gone. And it's so sweet. I was like, okay, I already know that this is the one where Edward goes away, and at that point I was Team Edward. And so I was like, I can't believe I have to read like, what, 600 pages with basically no Edward. And I was like, come on, why are you doing this to me, Stephanie? And then we got into it and I was like, man, I like Jacob. Like I said earlier, I was not expecting that because I hated his character in the movies. I thought he was so obnoxious, but he's such a sweetie in the books. And I was like, okay. I understand now why people like cannot stand Bella. Reading the first one, I was like, okay, I mean, is she a role model? No, but like I've read worse YA protagonists, so like I don't understand why everyone just like harps on her so much. I understand it now. She is the worst. The portrayal of mental health in this book truly reached new lows. I was just like, this is making me sick. Yeah, so by the end of the book, not only had I grown to loathe Bella, but I'm also now on Team Jacob. Book Jacob is so sweet. Oh my gosh, like, I love him. Honestly, Bella doesn't deserve him, okay? So like, I'm not even Team Jacob in the sense that like, I think Bella should be with Jacob. I'm Team Jacob in the sense that like, I think I should be with Jacob. And now I'm reading Eclipse and it's only getting worse. Like literally, I'm just like, now I can't deal with Bella or Edward, so as far as I'm concerned, they can just go off and do their own thing. I will take a book about Charlie, Carlisle, and Jacob. Saturday now, probably not going to make my week deadline. Halfway through the whole series in a week, which for me was very fast. Also, I got a new book, Fake Blood by Whitney Gardner. So I guess this vlog is just turning into like a more generic vampire vlog. This looks like a really cute graphic novel though. It's adorable. So it's basically about this kid. He's in 6th grade. His name is AJ. And he's just like really shy and really self-conscious, but he has a huge crush on this girl in his class. And she's like obsessed with vampires. That's like her favorite thing. And so he's like trying to figure out a way to like work up the courage to talk to her, and they end up getting put together on a class project on Transylvania. So I'm a little bit confused. Either during the course of this project he actually does turn into a vampire, or he just pretends to turn into a vampire to like get her attention. But either way, it's really sweet. Isn't that cute? So, in fitting with the Twilight theme, we're now adding this to the TBR. It's 300 pages, which is pretty long for a graphic novel, but again, it's a graphic novel, so yeah. So to kind of offset the ridiculousness that has become Edward Cullen, I'm going to be reading about AJ and his potentially fake journey to becoming a vampire. I'm so salty about this. Like, I legitimately loved Edward Cullen in the first book. I was like, I'm completely buying into this romance, and now I understand why I should have stopped after the first one. Maybe it'll get better, but unfortunately I have a feeling that not only will Edward not get better, but I think Jacob's just gonna get worse. This is gonna break my heart. Okay, but I'm gonna keep going because I've committed to this vlog, so I hope it's worth it. Okay, it's literally just been a couple of minutes since I filmed that last clip, but I've been reading more of Fake Blood, and I just had to show you this. It is totally like blatantly making fun of Twilight. So when they decide to do their like group project on Transylvania, AJ sneaks into his sister's room and like nicks a copy of Moonlight, and he starts reading it to like learn about vampires or whatever. And this is the like rendition of it, and she's saying, "You won't drain me, you're not like the rest of them." And he's like, "How do you know?" She's like, "I could feel it in my bones." He's like, "You don't know anything about me. I know you're a vampire. Don't, you'll..." He opens up his shirt and look, he's all sparkly. And he's like, "They're not even in Transylvania." Oh my gosh, this is so much better. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this series right now. I don't know. It's like, it's really bothering me, honestly. Like, so I struggled in high school and like the first part of college. I struggled a lot with like my body image and feeling good about myself, and I really struggled with that a lot during that time. And by the literal grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, I was able to like overcome a lot of those feelings. I had to kind of, I guess, learn what things were healthy for me to read and watch and that weren't going to like contribute to those feelings. And gosh, I cannot believe that Twilight is like affecting me as much as it is, but it's just like Bella's self-esteem throughout the books is really starting to get to me and bother me and like make me feel bad about myself.
And so I think for right now, I'm probably not gonna finish the series. All I can say is kudos to my mom for not letting me read these books earlier, because I really don't think that would have been good for me at that age, you know, because even now it's affecting me and I am much more confident, much more like I have a better grasp of the world, I guess, because I'm just older and I've like been in a relationship before, so like I know that this is not a accurate or healthy portrayal of how relationships work and all that stuff. So even knowing all that now, it's still kind of having a bad influence on me. I kind of feel silly for that, but I think that whatever, like, if something's bothering you, even if it doesn't make sense to other people, like, you don't have to justify that to anyone. If a book or a movie or whatever is making you uncomfortable or making you feel bad about yourself, like, turn it off, get rid of it, like, cut it out of your life, and you can always revisit it later if you want to. I would love to finish the rest of the series sometime later, maybe in a couple of months, but for now, I think I'm gonna like be done here. I made it through, I think about like 200 pages of Eclipse, so not quite halfway. Edward was really starting to irritate me in this book. He started irritating me in the second one. He really got like unbearably awful in this book, and that was frustrating me a lot because I loved Edward in the first book, like totally, unabashedly, unironically, like I thought he was awesome. I want to remember him in my mind as this sparkly, melodramatic, like adorable little vampire boy, and this book is really making it hard for me to do that because he is so manipulative, so controlling, so toxic, and it's just like, whereas in the first couple of books it was like, okay, like this is cheesy, this is fun, like whatever, you know, obviously he has huge character flaws, but you know, I wasn't taking it super seriously. Now it's getting to the point where like I can't not take it seriously, and I'm just like, it's driving me crazy. I will remember Edward the way he was in Twilight. Just a beautiful, damaged boy. And we're just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, that was my experience of Twilight. Basically, I loved the first one. Second one, Third one, don't need that in my life. So I still had a ton of fun though, and let me know down below. Like, I would love to just kind of fangirl with you in the comments. So please, please, please leave your thoughts below. Let me know if you read Twilight growing up and if you enjoyed it, or if you didn't get to it until a little bit later. Let me know. As always, I'm here for you if you need me. Let me know how I can encourage you this week or be praying for you. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.